Talk about Mike McCarthy coming in here. What have you noticed as somebody that's obviously played here, that has been an alumni here, that's beloved here, been around the building, and now there's a new coach in the building? What has it been like, and what do you think about the team thus far?
Well, he's a Yinzer. You know, he grew up here. He knows what the team means to the town. And, you know, he's just changed things. There's attention to detail anytime there's anything new. When I came here, Coach Cowher was here. You know, he ran a great camp, 6 weeks of two-a-days, baby. Like,
yeah,
it was a whole different realm. Our weight room was a tent. Like, well, this is way nicer than our weight room. But, it was just different. The stadium wasn't there. The seats weren't there. It was just a hill, and Steeler fans showing up with their coolers and sitting all day. But when Coach T came in, it's a transition. It's a new thing. Each one of these guys, as you guys know, has to set their own stamp in, right, and do things their own way. So just talking to people within the organization stuff, there's a real attention to detail. It's far different. There isn't, you know, kids running around on the field and stuff like that. It's like, get to your job, let's go. We got things to do. We got games to win.
What has it been like growing with DK, and what do you expect from him this year?
Body type, he's like nobody I've ever played with. He weighs 230-ish, high 220s, and he's like 10% body fat maybe or less. He's an absolute animal. But the thing that you realize especially after going to Idaho, is you have a lot of closeness with guys on the team. But last year, compared to this year, it felt like we were teammates last year, and this year we're actually really close friends. So that's been really cool. And not that I didn't love him last year.
Like that.
Not that I didn't love him last year, but we've been able to really
choked up.
He's
bond.
crying.
Oh no,
he's crying over there.
To bond and connect in a different way, and it makes a difference for sure. He's my roommate over here at the dorms, and DK has a big heart. He's got a really big heart, and he really cares about doing things the right way. And I would say that if you want to know, if you're a young player and you want to know what it looks like to be an NFL player and to practice the right way, you should watch DK Metcalf.
Yeah. How did you want to separate this particular team from maybe Steelers teams of the past, or is it still the same mantra, same type of guys, even though Coach McCarthy's head coach now?
Yeah, another good question, Pat.
Yes!
You know, the standard. You're on fire. The standard's been set here, so for us, it's just really trying to continue what's been done here before. You know, the 6 Super Bowl championships, right? And we're trying to get a 7th one, and you know, just really trying to stick to the standard that's been set here.
So Debo was one of the best in the NFL at extending plays, ranking top 5 in yards after the catch and yards per reception. The 49ers were missing that piece to their receiver game a year ago, ranking 16th in YAC in 2025. So, Mike T, let's start with you. Do you like this signing for San Francisco?
Molly, I love it. I think Debo is a great compliment to what Brock Purdy does well. In his career, Debo has 3,500 yards run after catch. You alluded to the other graphic as well. And when you think about what Brock Purdy does well, he gets rid of the ball, he's accurate. But last year, he was only 18th in air yards. So getting the ball down the field isn't a strength of his. So when you mention the injuries they have to Kirk and more notably Ricky Pearsall, I think this is smart. This time of year, from a front office perspective, you want to bring in somebody that knows the system, something that Debo knows well.
So my heart and my mind are struggling because in my heart, I want to say if Mahomes is going to be out there and he's going to be healthy, this team has to be a contender. But then with my mind, I'm looking down the roster and I'm looking at the improvements from last year to this year, which was last year was a 6-win team. Mahomes got hurt at the end of the season. Yes, they added Kenneth Walker III. They drafted guys on the defensive side of the ball. They didn't add another weapon on the outside for Mahomes to be able to get the ball on an offense that has lacked any type of explosive nature really since Tyreek Hill has left. I think Mahomes' air yards was at 8 yards and it steadily has gone down now in 6 and some change since Tyreek Hill has left that team. So for me, it's like, as much as I love Patrick Mahomes and think he is the best quarterback that's played our game in a long time since Brady, and is all the accolades he has achieved and everything he's done, I don't know that this team got that much better than what they were a year ago to say, all right, now I'm picking them over the Denver Broncos to win this division, and I'm picking them over the Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens to represent the AFC. Right now, I don't see it because this is also Mahomes with a chunky knee brace on who is going to play differently early on in the season because he has to. He can't scramble the way he's been done in the past, and he has to stay healthy. So as much as I like him, this team, to me, they got older in certain positions, and I don't really know that they've retooled in the nature that they need to be able to be contenders in the AFC.
Just came from the Dallas Cowboys training camp. You said you had a 10-minute conversation with Dak.
Yeah, so great to be here. It was interesting because you're moving things around and these things are sometimes happening on the fly. So he says he could give me 10 minutes. It was maybe the most efficient 10-minute conversation I've ever had.
Well, he
is
efficiency, is he not?
Yeah. Well, he was like, I'm telling you, like, it's just like you sense with him just a belief and a security in where he is and a security in what's around him and his place in the league and the Cowboys' place now, which he wore I don't know if you saw a picture, but he wore a Super Bowl shirt.
Yeah,
I think
we talked about it at length leading up to your...
Yeah, so a Super Bowl 30 shirt, which is hard to believe. Now you think about that, that's half the Super Bowl era ago, because we're at 60 now,
Mm-hmm.
And it's the last one they won. So I asked him about that, and, he basically said it's obvious that that's our goal, so why shouldn't we just say it? And he's like everybody's going to be talking about us and our expectations, and that's part of playing in Dallas in September and October and November, whether we're winning or losing. That's all anybody's going to be talking about. So why don't we just start the conversation now?
I think that he is going to play earlier than maybe they're saying right now or people expect, in part because it always happens. Been covering this league for a long time. The rookie quarterbacks, the first rounders, especially 1-1 picks, they never sit for long. I think for Vegas, the readiness is a factor, and I do think he'll be ready from a, understanding the offense perspective. The thing I'd be wary of is the offensive line. I'd want to see that this offensive line is functional and capable of protecting him before rolling him out there, because last year this was one of the worst offensive lines in football. Obviously they signed Linderbaum, but it does need to improve a great deal.
Baker is worth more than what the Bucs offered. He should be in that $50 million a year category. That should be the way it is. The fact of the matter also is that Tampa Bay does have the franchise tag available for the next 2 years. And I believe the franchise tag for next year, depending on a variety of factors, could be under $50 million. So they could tag him then, and then they could tag him again the next year to the upwards of about $57, $58 million. So they have him under contract for 1 year, but they might have his rights for the next 3 years. And who knows if it'll ever come to that. It probably won't anyway. And Baker's bitter right now, and understandably so, on the 2 years that the Buccaneers offer. But the fact of the matter is, there's still a lot left in this relationship, whether Baker likes it or not, because Tampa Bay is just not going to let Baker Mayfield walk into free agency, leave the franchise, and not be compensated. That's not reality either. So it's up to these sides to figure out a way to get a deal done, and Baker doesn't want to do a deal right now.
You have covered the Chargers in the past as well. From what you're hearing, what has the dynamic been like between Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel? Because on the surface, that just seems like something that would never work. Harbaugh seems like he would absolutely hate McDaniel's guts, but we've seen clips coming out, and they seem pretty jovial, and they're joking with each other. What have you heard about these two?
You guys, it's truly crazy when you think of these two guys. Like the guy who wears the same outfit every single day and the guy who just will put together the most eclectic look you think you've ever seen. Jim Harbaugh has done nothing but talk about how brilliant Mike McDaniel is. So far, so good. I mean, it just, like you said, the styles of the two don't seem like they would go at all. But Mike McDaniel has found his way in with Justin Herbert. Obviously, that's the key to this entire offense in LA for the Chargers. So I think it's going to be really fun to monitor the social media videos between these two. But so far it's the complete opposites attract apparently. But when you talk to Jim Harbaugh about Mike McDaniel, you're just kind of waiting for these anecdotes of the weirdness taking part behind the scenes. And I'm sure there's not going to be any shortage. But so far he just goes on and on and on about how brilliant Mike is.
Lord, he woke up recently and had some tightness in his lower back glute area. They've worked on it. They don't believe it's anything serious. And as you heard Kevin Stefanski say there, he'll be back sooner rather than later. Certainly by next week is the expectation, maybe even sooner. As for Michael Penix himself, you heard what he had to say about his particular situation. And it's not so much that they'll only be missing him during that time, but he'll miss the work with the new offense, with the new coaching staff. And so that's a little bit of a setback for a competition at the quarterback position that they were hoping to have. And when Michael Penix comes back, he comes back and joins a race that Tua Tagovailoa is already running, which obviously could impact the ultimate decision that the Falcons make at the starting quarterback position. So with Tua Tagovailoa dealing with a short-term muscle issue, with Michael Penix dealing with another back issue or knee issue that'll sideline him for another month, they did sign Cooper Rush today, so one more quarterback to add to the Falcons quarterback room.
We can't have him participating in these drills. That's a significant development, in my opinion, for where they must think he is, how he probably feels about it, and then probably what our expectations should be in terms of what he's going to look like when, in fact, it does end up being live.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes does seem to have an uncanny ability to rebound from injuries. We've seen that over the course of his career, but this is obviously incredibly heartening for Kansas City. And I think still shouldn't detract from what's been their priority this offseason, which is taking the load off of him by running the football more, better. The Chiefs' offensive line could be quite good. I think the interior is amongst the best in the NFL, and Josh Simmons, when he did play last season, looked very good at left tackle. Right's a bit of a question mark. But to me, even with that said, they still need to find ways to run more, to run in neutral situations. They faced the most light boxes in football last year, and they were still an average run game. And there was so much pressure on Mahomes to carry things, whether it was through the RPO attack or the passing game in general. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs must find a way to make life easier for him. He cannot have as many carries as he's had, especially early on as he recovers from this injury.